Hello tanks and tankettes, and welcome to patch 9.14, which has brought with it not only a new sound engine but new physics as well. But it's mostly the sound engine that is the focus of this video. Well, it's the reason why I wanted to get a 9.14 replay up, and I didn't have that many to hand, and this is the one I went with. This is Spaturnio and the Derp M4 Sherman with some absolutely fantastic matchmaking. Look at that, look at all those tier 4s. And look at those unfortunate tier 3s, yes. And given he's in a derp Sherman, he can one-shot quite a... Well, he can one-shot all of the tier 3s and quite a lot of the tier 4s as well, if he gets lucky. So, with this kind of matchmaking, I guess it just remains to be seen what exactly he's going to do with it. Because even with the best matchmaking in the world, if you just play absolutely terribly, nothing is going to come of it. So you'll immediately hear, I mean if you've not played the game already, the engine sounds are different, the gun sounds are different. Personally I quite like it, but with a big change like this there are always going to be people that just don't. Hopefully those people stick with it and get used to it. Honestly, even from a purely technical point of view, if the game sounds had stayed the same, the move to the new sound engine has actually, I think, been quite beneficial. I've noticed the game has picked up a few FPS because some of those... I said that with a weird inflection, didn't I? Anyway, some of the sound processing for the game has been shunted onto a separate core of your processor if you have a multi-core processor, which a lot of people do these days. So even with recording at 50 FPS, I've actually been able to turn up some of the graphics settings. And if I compare this to 9.10 replays, 9.9 replays, I just couldn't record at 50 FPS with my current hardware setup, whereas sort of 9.13 onwards you've seen a lot more of them because the FPS has gotten better, and it has actually, like I said, it's improved once again. So there we go, the derp gun, we've heard it in action. I mean, I talked over it a bit, but the guns, I kind of like that, like the sound, the bark of the guns in the distance. I really like that, and I like the ricochet sounds, and I like the squeaks and the little rattles and all that kind of, like, I think that's fantastic. The guns themselves could maybe sound a bit kind of more bassy, you know, a bit kind of more powerful, but apart from that I think they've done a really good job, and I quite like the engine sounds in particular. But it's just the whole kind of everything they've put together. I think overall they have done a really nice job. But we might see some more tweaks to, you know, this has been a pretty major update for this, and they've been working on it for a long while. So there might be, at this stage when they're getting kind of mass feedback, some further changes down the line. I don't know, that's pure speculation on my part. Anyway, let's actually talk about Spaturnio's match. Now, he's gotten a couple of kills already. He's taken out one of his most dangerous opponents, the Chernu, that well, had equally as good matchmaking. But the S35CA is still alive, and if he's got that 105mm gun, I think it's 105mm. I'm trying to remember now. It's the same gun that the ARL44 gets. The MX M4 can mount it as well. It can high roll, especially if the guy's firing APCR. Enough to just one-shot Spaturnio, but of course Spaturnio can one-shot him as well if he gets a penetrating hit. So he's got 3 kills already. He's by far at the forefront of his team, but with matchmaking like this, it's going to be all less experienced players, and they're all going to be more inclined to let the big boys sort of duke it out. But there aren't really many big boys in this match. It's a lot of tier 3s and a lot of tier 4s. And they go down easily. At the low tiers, armor's not really a thing so much. And it's not like the Sherman itself has got great armor, but against a lot of these opponents, it's good enough, especially if they aren't fully upgraded. So it looks like the remainder of the enemy team, who have been... I mean, his team's been pretty passive, but the enemy team's also been pretty passive, so it's been a perfect recipe. I mean, he's not only had exactly the most magical matchmaking I've seen in a while, but he's had exactly the teammates and the enemies he needed for getting a very nice kill count as well. He's already up to 6 kills, and there's still 4 enemies left alive. Unfortunately, yeah, there's that S35. Now he derps the guy for full health, but look at that hit he took. And the Covenant pens as well, so he's now down to 15 health. The Hetzer could kill him, and the artillery could certainly kill him at that. But the fact that nothing else was really able to hurt him that much up until this point, well, yeah, he's probably going to live, especially as he has so many allies left. Now there's the Hetzer, and this is going to be quite a lucky shot. That was not aimed, really. So RNG was with him, and that's given him 9 kills. So he's already had a Radley-Walters medal, and that, by the way, is his first ever Radley-Walters medal. He's now also in with a shot at a Pools medal, and the archer on his team is actually cheering him on and encouraging his teammates not to cap. But unfortunately, that archer's also going to disgrace himself in the process. Even with the best of intentions, he does the wrong thing. Now, actually, it's maybe worth mentioning that in his email, Spaturnio says, I'm the reason he went with the Derp Sherman rather than a Derp Panzer IV, that he went up to that tier 5 medium first. And I honestly can't remember at what point I seriously expressed a preference for one over the other. But given that, if memory serves, the Sherman just has better gun depression than the Panzer IV, it was probably that. Of course, these days you've also got the G1R with a derp gun as well, which has the unique flavour of having really fast HE shells, really fast in comparison to other derp guns, but it also reloads slower, and it's of kind of average, well, mediocre, if we're being honest, mobility. So although the G1R looks kind of funky, it's kind of, I don't know, I don't really like the G1R that much with the derp gun, but yeah, even if you don't have this matchmaking, even if you're bottom 2, with the derp gun, you're always able to do at least a bit of damage. You've always got that kind of utility of having a derp gun. And I even roll around on my E2 still when I take that out, which is as far as I've ever gone with the American mediums. I use the derp gun on that as well. Now, the archer, unfortunately, team killed somebody. And it was somebody that was capping. So like I said, with the best of intentions, yeah. Now, unfortunately, the RNG was with him for the 9th kill, but it was not for the 10th. It was not a particularly aimed shot. It didn't quite hit the last tank alive, the artillery. If it had, it would have been a kill. It would have been a Pools medal for sure. But as it was, well, this was still a really good result for Spaturnio. He didn't actually do that much damage. 1300 damage for 1300 XP, but 9 kills plus just over 1000 spotting damage meant, yeah, he was easily at the top of that team. But matchmaking like that just does not come along very often. So yeah, unfortunately for you, Spaturnio, I can say this is going to be a very rare event, but when these kinds of things do happen, you just have to enjoy them, I suppose. So there you go, final results screen. He actually had a pretty good hit ratio there, 9 hits with 9 kills, so everything that hit killed something basically. Although one of them, actually, I think he hit the Chernu twice, didn't he? So yeah, but still, it was a good result, and I think he can be very pleased with it. Getting that first kind of like Radley-Walters and the Pools medal, those can stick in the mind. And for me, I honestly can't remember what my first Radley-Walters was, but my first Pools medal, I still remember that one just because it took so long to get it, and I had 2 or 3 really close brushes, and I think they've all been up on the channel just because they were such kind of close games. But yeah, just stick with it. You will get that Pools medal one day. It will happen, I promise you. You just have to persist, basically. So hopefully you've enjoyed this and enjoyed the new game sounds. And if you don't enjoy the new game sounds, well, have a bit of patience. Give it some time. You never know. They might grow on you. I'm also hoping I get some light tank replays sent to me, because of course it's light tanks that really feel the most effect of that new physics engine. So yeah, if you've had some epic light tank scout games since patch 9.14 hit, then by all means send them to the usual replay address. I'll also throw in a quick note to say mods aren't done yet. The mods, the various mod creators haven't updated everything, so that'll be done when it's done. But as you've noticed, they've improved the minimap a bit. They've actually got some, view range circles and a max render circle and all that kind of thing. That's now all in the base game option, so you can go and turn on that at least. And it looks all right. It's got enough utility to be more than useful enough in the interim. So hopefully you've enjoyed this, and if you have, you can leave any comments below, you can hit the like button, you can sub to my channel if you aren't already, and, as always, stay tuned for more.